Hi everyone, this is MD Alam. In this presentation today, I am going to present the book chapter review for Chapter 1, Introduction to Business Process Management. The agenda includes Introduction to Business Process Management, Processes Everywhere, Ingredients of a Business Process, Origin and History of Business Process Management, the functional organization, the birth of process thinking, the rise and fall of BPR, the business project management lifecycle, processes model, the business project management lifecycle diagram, and the conclusion. Moving to the next slide. Introduction to Business Process Management. Definition and objectives of business project management. Business project management is about how work is done in a company to get consistent results and make things better. It also finds ways to reduce cost, save time, and make fewer mistakes. Essential concepts of business project management. The processes are made up different events, activities, and decisions that work together to create value for the company. Historical overview of business process management. Business project management has changed and developed over time and helped companies become more efficient and effective. Business project management initiative helps us understand the steps, challenges, and things to think about when a company wants to use business process management. Moving to the next slide, processes everywhere. Order to cash and quote to order processes. The order to cash processes starts when a customer submits an order to purchase a product or service and ends when the product or service is delivered and payment is received. The quote to order process precedes the order to cash process and involves receiving a request for a quote from a customer and ends when the customer places a purchases order based on the received quote. Procure to pay and quote to cash processes. The procure to pay process starts when an organization determines the need to purchase a product or service and ends when the purchases is complete, including delivery and payment. The procure to pay process corresponds to the quote to cash process on the supplier side. Issue to resolution and claim to resolution processes. The issue to resolution process begins when a customer raises a problem or issues and continues until the customer and the supplier agree that the issue has been resolved. The claim to resolution process involves addressing insurance claims until they are resolved. Application to approval process and importance of well-designed processes. The application to approval process starts when someone applies for a benefit or privilege and ends when the application is either granted or denied. Well-designed and executed processes are essential for an organization's success as they impact customer satisfaction and the efficiency of service delivery. Moving to the next slide. Ingredients of a business process, event, activities, and tasks. A business process consists of various elements, including events, activities, and decision points. Events are instantaneous occurrences, while activities are time-consuming tasks. When an activity is simple and invisible, it is referred to a task. Decision points and their impact. Decision points are moments within a process where a decision is made, influencing and subsequent course of actions. Actors, objects, and informational objects. Actors can be either human or organizational entities. Physical objects are equipment and materials, and informational objects are electronic documents and records. Internal and external actors. Internal actors directly contribute to the execution of the process, while external actors operate extremely but have a role in the process. Outcomes and customers. A business process leads to one or more outcomes that deliver value to the involved actors. The actor who consumes the output is referred to as a customer. Moving to the next slide about the origin and history of business process management. Emergence of functional organization. Functional organization played a significant role in shaping the origins of business process management. In the past, organizations were structured around functional departments such as finance, marketing, and operations. Introduction of process thinking. The introduction of process thinking marked a turning point in the evaluation of business process management. Process thinking emphasized viewing work as a series of interconnected activities that collectively deliver value to the organization and its customer. Innovations and failure of business process re-engineering. A new idea called business process re-engineering came about in the 1990s and had a big impact on the development of business process management. Some organizations had great success with business process reengineering and saw significant improvements. However, other organizations faced difficulties and even failed because the changes required were complex and extensive. Unfolding of business process management initiative. A business process management initiative in an organization typically follows a structured life cycle. By adopting a life cycle approach, organizations can systematically manage their process, align them with business objectives, and adapt to changing market conditions. The birth of process thinking. From self-sufficiency to generalism, in prehistoric times, people mostly made their food, tool, and other items. They knew various production processes and were considered generalists. Rise and specializations. With the rise of cities and city-state in ancient times, people begin to specialize in providing specific goods or services. They had a good understanding of the processes in which the workers were involved, but knew little about the processes they received from others. Pure specialization in the Industrial Revolution. There was a shift toward poor specialization during the Industrial Revolution. Emerge and managers and the functional units. Tyler's division of labor concept and analysis of work led to the emergence of managers who monitor workers' productivity. Challenges and realization. By the late 1980s, large American companies realized that their emphasis on functional optimization was creating insufficiencies and affecting their competitiveness. Moving to the next slide, the rise and fall of business project reengineering consists of concept misuse, over-radicalism, support immaturity, revival and foundation of business process management, business process management versus business project reengineering. Moving to the next slide, and this slide is about the business process management life cycle. The importance of process identification in business project process management initiative. Processes identification sets the foundation for the business projects process management initiative and leads to the development of a process architecture that covers the organization's work in achieving its mission. The significance of performance measures in business process management. Performance measures such as cost, time, quality, and flexibility help in evaluating process performance. By clearly defining these measures, organizations can control and improve their processes. Process discovery and modeling for effective business process management. Process models facilitate communication between stakeholders and are typically represented using diagrams, flowcharts, UML activity diagrams, and BPMN are commonly used modeling languages. This model helps stakeholders visualize and comprehend the process. The life cycle also include analyzing issues and opportunities in business process management and redesigning processes for better outcomes in business process management. Now moving to the next slide. There are many languages for modeling business process diagrammatically. Perhaps one of the oldest are flowchart, as you can see in this slide. In their most basic form, flowcharts consist of rectangles which represent activities and diamonds which represent points in the process where a decision is made. Hence, the flowchart is divided into so-called sunanas, which denotes different organizational units. Example is different departments in a company, as you can see in this slide. To sum up, we can view business process management as a continuous cycle comprising the following phases in this slide. As you can see, this is divided into multiple categories, which are process identification, process discovery, process analysis, process redesign, process implementation, and process monitoring. In the process identification, in this phase, a business problem is posed. Processes relevant to the problem being addressed are identified, delimited, and interrelated. The process delivery, also called as is process modeling. Here, the current state of each of the relevant processes is documented, typically in the form of one or several as-is process model. Process analysis. In this phase, issues associated with the as-is process are identified, documented, and whenever possible, quantified using performance. Process redesign, also called process improvement. The goal of this phase is to identify changes to the process that would help to address the issue identified in the previous phase and allow the organization to meet its performance objectives. Process implementation. In this phase, the changes required to move from the as-is process to the to-be process are prepared and performed. Process implementation covers two aspects: organizational change management and automation. The last one is the process monitoring. Once the redesign process is running, relevant data are collected and analyzed to determine how well the process is performing with respect to its performance measured and performance objectives. In conclusion, the business process management is a key to success, and the principle and tools to encapsulate business process management consistently, it can be redefined as a set of principal methods and tools utilized to discover, analyze, redesign, implement, and monitor business processes, and a closer look at phases and principles. Thank you, everyone.